Good morning. I just thought I would give you a quick update on my garden progress. It's coming along really good, and I wanted to show you a couple of my fruit trees that also have quite a bit of fruit on them, which we should start seeing within the next month. So join me. So first I want to start with my spaghetti squash. I've been actually zip tying some of the stems to my trellis here, and as you can see, I'm starting to get little spaghetti squashes. I noticed those this weekend. I've got all kinds of little new leaves coming out and some new squashes starting to grow, so I'm really excited about that. These are my pumpkins. They're crawling all over the place. And I've got 2 pumpkin plants, which are going to be more than enough pumpkins. I don't see any pumpkins yet. Right now they're still putting out the vines, but they're moving along. And then I've got some beautiful dahlias. As you can see, I've got some bees pollinating them. These are really my favorite. I love these cactus dahlias. I just think they're beautiful. We get stung. Yeah, I see you. Over here, I've got my onions. They're actually doing really well. I've got some dill growing along with my cucumbers, and my cucumbers are really starting to take off. Some more cucumbers and dill. This is my elephant dill. It's so big and it's so it's actually starting to seed up on the top. So I'm going to be cutting this back today and dehydrating it. I did the other plant as well, and the reason is because my cucumbers just aren't even close to getting anywhere. So I want to get this one out and dehydrated, and then I'll have some fresh dill to put in when I start doing my pickles when my cucumbers are ripe. These are my zucchini plants. No zucchinis, but the plants are growing and they look absolutely beautiful. Got a little tomato plant there. This is my garlic, and it's coming along. I've got some more dill here, quite a bit of dill. I don't know how many pickles I'm going to do. I've got some beautiful cilantro. I've been eating that in salads every night. I've also got some basil coming up. It's looking really beautiful. And then I've got a couple new rhubarbs that I planted from seed, and they're just little bitty guys. Here I've got my big rhubarb plant. As you can see, it's pretty nice size, and I grew some cilantro around that. These are my beets. They're doing beautiful, as well as my carrots. And then I'm growing an herb called lavage. I've never grown that before. It's supposed to be similar to the taste of celery, so I'm really excited to see that one. These are some radishes I have growing, and then I've got some yellow squash that I planted a few weeks ago. Here I've got some more dill, some Italian parsley, different herbs, more radishes and beets and carrots. My little lettuces are starting to grow. Got some little patches of lettuce. I've got some red leaf lettuce in here, some spinach, and these are some beautiful gladiolas. They're not open yet. I'll show you when they open up, but I've got those growing. Over here I've got some pole beans. They're growing up my trellis, doing a beautiful job. Try to get some shade here so you can see. Don't have any beans yet, but I've also got some tomato plants growing through the trellis, which is perfectly fine. I've got more dahlias kind of hiding throughout my tomatoes. I've got a whole bunch here that are ready to start flowering. I've got some Malabar spinach. I've never grown it before, but I was hoping I can get it to grow up this trellis. Just found a gopher. I use one of these gopher traps. I really like them. You just put them in the hole and then cover it up with the dirt. I've got more tomato plants. Got a lot of tomato plants this year. I'm hoping I'll get a good harvest of tomatoes. These are my peppers. They're actually starting to get some flowers that are turning into peppers. Again, I have more beans. They're going way up there. So this is my apricot tree. I've got apricots that are just starting to turn color. They're not ready, they're not ripe yet, but they will be in a couple weeks. We'll be ready to start picking apricots really soon. And I've got a lot of apricots coming. They're kind of hidden, you know, in the, look at all these. Oh my gosh, I don't know. This is like last year. I had a huge harvest of apricots last year. So I'll be making some apricot syrups. Look at that. They're starting to turn. They're looking good. I've got a lot. Then I have a little miniature peach tree. This is called a pixie peach. And every year since I planted it, I mean, literally, I've had hundreds of peaches. This is one branch. I mean, so many peaches. I'm probably going to thin them out this year because I just can't eat that many peaches. And they actually get bigger when you do thin them a little bit. So this year I'm going to plan on doing that. But they're kind of hidden. This is an interesting peach tree. You pull back the leaves and you've got all these peaches that are, look at that. It's so crazy. Look at these. Just tons of peaches. And then one of the trees I was the most excited about is my avocado tree. Look at this. Let me come over here. Look at this. I'm going to get avocados this year. It's just unbelievable to me. I just have not, I just planted this a couple years ago and I've already got little baby avocados. There's a lot of them too, almost every branch. Look at this one. It's already turning green. It's little. Look at that. Look at this one. It's amazing. This is my fig tree. I just noticed some little baby figs. Let me see if I can, I don't know if you can see those. Little baby figs starting to grow. They're just tiny. There's a good one. Can you see that? Oh, here's some bigger ones right here. So I've got figs starting to grow. These are wonderful figs. This is a Turkish fig tree. Really good. Again, it's like 4 years old. Look how big that tree is. It's huge. And over here I've got a Hancock peach. You can see some of these peaches are starting to get kind of big. Now, I had to heavily cut this back last year. A lot of the branches, look at that. I didn't notice there were so many peaches on the center of the tree. But I cut it way back last year because I had so many branches break. So this year I'm going to be very careful with making sure that these branches don't get overloaded with fruit. This is a white peach, and honestly, it's very delicious, but it doesn't can good. It's not a good peach tree for canning. I've got a yellow nectarine tree over here. I've got some nectarines growing. Not too many this year. I mean, I'm gonna have plenty to eat, but not as many as last year. This tree was absolutely loaded, but again, I had to cut it way back. Then look at this pomegranate tree. Look at all these flowers. Oh my gosh, I don't know how many pomegranates we're gonna get, but this thing's just loaded with flowers. And this beast is my European plum, planted 5 years ago. This thing is a massive producer, and I'm not exaggerating. It's just loaded with these big black purple plums, and they are not only stunning when they ripen, they're also equally delicious. Look at that. I don't know if you can see. Like, look at all that fruit. It's just loaded. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to thin this one too. I got a lot of plums. Look at all those. Oh my gosh. It's Plum Central. Oh, look at that. look at that. I'm definitely gonna be pruning these. Not pruning, I'm sorry. I'm gonna be thinning these because I've got so many plums coming. Look at this. I don't know, this tree just, I can't reach the top ones. I don't know how I'll get those down. This is my pluot tree. I'm starting to get pluots. I only planted that a couple of years ago, and it's doing really good. I haven't had a lot of fruit off this yet, but they are quite delicious. And then this is my Fuji apple. It's looking beautiful. I don't have anything turning into fruit yet, but I had a lot of blossoms on this tree, so I'm expecting a good harvest. Look how pretty. Actually, some of them are still blossoming. Some of them have opened up their blossoms, and so the next stage is the fruit. Actually, these are starting to turn into little apples. Oh, I do have a couple apples started. Look at that. This is a delicious tree. These Fuji apples, I would never have thought they'd grow so good in Southern California, but this tree is amazing. And we get so many apples from this. My herbs are doing great. Look at all that oregano. Look at that. And I've been dehydrating it. Oh, goodness. And over here, I've got my roses. Oh, they're just breathtaking. I love this color rose. Oh, any stage that it grows, these are the prettiest flowers. Look at this one back here. It's all big and fat. Look how pretty that is. And then these are my pink roses. They're all just beautiful. So that ends our tour for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for coming along and seeing how everything's getting updated. I'll bring you in from time to time. And like I said, we should be getting apricots first. We should probably have those in the next 2 weeks, and some other things we can start pulling from the garden. So if you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.